Hi, I'm Xena Gusthart and I am the resident choreographer for Bat Out of Hell here at the Dominion Theatre.
Hi and welcome back. We are here again at Bat Out of Hell and we are chatting all things choreography, costumes, swings and understudies. So here we go. Can you tell me a bit about the show and how it's evolved since it started in terms of choreography?
So it's went on a massive journey actually since its birth in, actually started in Clapham, a small studio in Clapham. That's where the very first workshop space happened. And then since then it went on to open up in Manchester, and then it came back down to London, to the London Coliseum. Then it went on to Toronto, had a little break, and now here we are in the West End. And it's also gone off to Germany and America and Australia as well. So the whole show has evolved massively, and choreographically I think it's gone from having absolutely no choreography whatsoever to having a very set machine now that we can sort of replicate wherever we go. And I think in the beginning it was very much like a workshop process, so people would come in and the choreographer Emma Portner, who is fantastic, she's a fantastic choreographer, she's very improvising and comes from a contemporary background, so the way she develops material was quite interesting. I personally wasn't part of the process, but I've been part of processes like that before with similar choreographers in their process, and I think it's good because what it does, it brings out something unique to the performers that are involved in it, as well as what she wants to get out of them. So it's went on a massive journey, and now it's very much, it's quite clear, we know what we're doing, and it's all been set. That creative process has been done in the past, and now it's just in a really good place to sort of replicate that where we go.
Yeah, I guess it's such a big show, it has to be easy to transfer from theatre to theatre.
And it's very complex, like there's so many elements to this that are really, really important, and every element now I think is on an even par. You know, we're in the sense of its spectacle and how amazing it looks on stage, and I think it's taken a bit of time to process it and get it to that point. But yeah, now because it's such a big complex show, it does need to be really clear what everyone's doing and how the design looks, and the music and the sound and the costumes and the choreography.
And you've got so many people to choreograph and to take control of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how does it work when people are out sick and you have to put replacements in, or do you ever have less people than you need? Yeah,
I mean, the idea is that you never have a cut show. So what we have is the main cast, they're the sort of people that have their role, and then you've got your first covers and then you've got second covers. So at the moment, literally today, we're doing a technical rehearsal for the second covers. They might go on, they might not, but they're there as like a really strong backup in case our main cast is on holiday, off sick or injured or anything, and then we've got the first cast, something might happen to them, so we do need that, you know, that third set of people to cover those roles, and that just takes a time actually. And it normally we have the main cast learn all the show first. The first covers, they follow the main cast throughout the rehearsal process, and then the second covers come after that. So that's where we're at now. 3 months in, we're only now getting to do the second covers. So
it must be so scary. Imagine if you had to go on before you'd done it.
Well, someone actually did. We had, well, I don't know if he had quite a lot of rehearsals, but he hadn't really been on the stage and been in a technical rehearsal in his role, and yeah, he just got sort of put on, and he did an amazing job. Yeah, and that is the sort of role of a first cover. They've just got from opening night, they have to be ready. So
and it's such a team, so everyone can help each other out.
Oh yeah, like, and that's when you really see how amazing a company is how they help each other out on stage. If you've got a swing on for the first time, if you know what to look for, you can kind of see other company members being like, gently over here, you know, and it's just because it's like one step more to the right, and they just might have missed that one point. So that's when you really see how close and how well developed a company is, when they actually help each other out on stage in those particular situations.
It's so nice with a show like this, isn't it? Seeing the team together.
Yeah,
so nice.
It's really good, and if you've got good characters, you know, and casting's key in that actually. When you cast a show, it's not only about do they look right for the role, or do they fit that character, do they sing like this, do they dance like that. It's also like, what's their personality like, and what would they be like in this team, or how would that affect, what would the dynamic be like. So it's casting a show is actually really difficult. There's just so much to do and so much to take in.
Yeah. So can we talk about the costumes?
I'd love to.
So,
I love the costumes on the show.
They're crazy.
They're great.
They're intense. They're New Year's Eve dreams.
Sequins everywhere.
So how do they work with the choreography? Because I know some of them are heavy, intense. So.
There's a lot of, in this show, there's quite, I'm not sure why particularly, I personally love it, but there's a lot of like big shoulder things going on. I don't know if you can see some of the things behind it. A lot of, especially this one here, which we can have a look at later, it's got huge shoulder pads, and there's some with like spikes, and I think even throughout the process of getting to the West End, the costumes have changed dramatically over the time, and we've had people that have had sort of big sort of horn things on the side of their shoulders, and that does affect choreography. And then there's a bit of a dialogue between the dancers and then the choreographer and the costume designer, because you know everyone has a vision of what they want, be it choreography or be it design, costume design, and everyone's got to make it work for both people, and so the whole thing actually works for the performer, because at the end of the day they're the ones that have to go on stage and perform, so we have to make sure that they're comfortable, you know, and that's why a lot of adaptations happen in that preview stage where we're still doing previews. And you know, if a character comes off and they say, oh, I'd like a belt because, you know, I feel like I'd like a bit more of a waist, or I would, you know, someone says I need smaller heels, or a guy says I need knee pads because I'm doing a lot of knee sliding. So that all of those things are constantly being adapted up until, you know, I'd say went to the end of previews at least.
Have you had any mishaps?
Mishaps with costume? No, not particularly. The costume team are on it here. They're such a good team, and there hasn't been anything that I've ever seen where there's been a problem with costumes. Only thing, there was a thing with set, and there was a glass, not a glass, but a cocktail shaker that was up in the bedroom, so upstairs. And I think someone, I can't remember who, kicked it by mistake, and it went, because it's on a rake, so it went rolling down the bedroom, dropped onto the stage, and then just kept rolling all the way down through this like really intense scene. So I mean, and that was not even you know, any stagehand's fault, or it was no one's fault. It was just a thing that happened. We kicked it, and off it went, and it rolled right into the orchestra. Oh god. So no costume mishaps, thank goodness.
No, good.
Touch wood.
So what's your favourite costume?
Oh gosh, within here, well, shall I get up and show you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the favourites. I've got two favourites here.
Okay.
I absolutely love this. This is like, as you can see, I like my shoulder pads. So this is amazing.
So glitzy.
If I could just wear it somehow, somewhere, that would be fantastic. But it's definitely a good costume for stage.
Yeah.
I like the feathers, I like the shoulder pads, it's got some studs, and then all these sequins, and it's just fabulous. Okay, so here we have, this is Sahara's outfit, and it's kind of like a sexy nurse outfit, and she wears this in only one scene actually, but she looks absolutely amazing in it. It's super skin tight, and yeah, she looks great, and it's got some like leather and sort of different textures and stuff, and it's all been hand stitched and handmade. Oh, this is the other one that I was saying is fabulous because it's the word of the day. Is these shoulder pads, and this is one of the ensemble members who is our first cover for Sloane. So when she's not wearing this, she'll be in her Sloane outfits, which is one of the main characters of the show. And she has like a little corset thing that she puts on here, and then obviously these crazy big shoulder pads, and on stage it just looks really cool. And even though it's quite dark, it's not, you know, it's not exactly got like tassels or sequins like the other ones. I really like this outfit just because of the silhouette of it, and the structure is really cool. So that's for Dead Ringer, the number Dead Ringer, and that's one of my favourite costumes in that, and my favourite number of the show actually. And then this is the outfit that the ensemble wear when they're pretty much being captured and tortured by the main character, because that's what happens in Bat Out of Hell. And it actually says property of Falco Industries. And so everyone wears these. They're completely unflattering, but also do the they do the job. And they just basically look like this. And again, I mean, there's no sequins on this one for once, but it's actually it looks really cool because in the show they're kind of being held prisoner, so these orange jumpsuits kind of resemble that idea of being in prison, and it's really good for the show. Oh, this is a boot. That's what this is. So these go, actually interesting, because I saw these on stage and I thought they are amazing, and I thought they were full-length boots, but they're actually just got little stirrups on them, so they put them over some silver shoes that she's got, so they look like full-length high-heeled boots, but actually they're just zip-on with stirrups. So I think that's a really clever, you know, design thing that they've done, which actually means that she doesn't have to wear crazy big shoes. She can just wear normal shoes and put them on top. More tassels. This one's also a good one. This is a really crazy top, a little bit like Christmas, but on stage it looks great. I mean, the thing is, when you have costumes on stage, you know, you'd never sort of wear some of this stuff. Maybe some people might, but in sort of real life, but on stage you really do need this sort of extravagance and the sequins and all these tassels, because it just really stands out on stage with lights and music and set design. It's really got to come up to that level as well, so that's why they're so extreme. So this is actually Raven's, one of her costumes that she wears. She actually doesn't have that many costumes compared to some of the ensemble members, so this is why this is a really nice one to look at. And this is when she's in her bedroom and she sees Strat and yeah, all that. She's basically going to bed, and this is her. And it's interesting, I've not seen this up close really, but the way it's made is very different to how it looks on stage, and it's made so well, and this is going to last forever. You can really feel the quality in it. So she has this, and this has got sort of a skin coloured neck bit up here, so it just helps to cover you on stage a little bit more, and I think also to just help keep it in place. And then we have these shorts that she puts on top of it like that, and that's her going to bed outfit. One of my favourite choreographic moments in the show is in a number called Paradise, and basically it's a line. It's a very simple piece of choreography, but really effective. There's a line of waiters in the show, and their choreography is very much just arms and very simple and linear, but they have so much character going on. There's a lot happening in that story within these waiters and within the scene of that number, and actually that's one of my favourite and most satisfying as a choreographer to watch, because it's really simple but really effective and really fun.
Do you find that the costumes help you in terms of choreography, like if they're reflective or if there's a lot of movement in them and stuff?
It's not something, as a choreographer, and for my own projects that I've done, it's not something that for me comes into play until nearer the time when the costumes, the costume designers had their vision and they've created it, and then, you know, then it's put together. That's when it becomes interesting for me, because that's when you can adapt the movement, or you can adapt the costume to fit, and it's a bit more of a collaborative process. But there are some people and some shows where they work directly with the costume designer, and that comes first, and the movement's dictated through that. But for this, it was very much sort of separate things, and then they came together to make it work.
And I guess with this show it's good as well because the stage is so big.
The stage is huge, yeah.
Shoulder pads, not such an issue, I guess, as on like a really small stage.
Yeah, if this was a really intimate show, when you've got audience like right there, you might think, wow, what are they wearing shoulder pads for? But you know, if you're in a 2,000-seater auditorium and you're right at the back, it's like it looks fantastic, you know, and the sequins just catch your eye, and so that, I think that actually helps in this particular, the Theatre Dominion, because it is such a big auditorium, such a big stage, such a big spectacle. that the costumes have to be equal to that, really.
Yeah, well, they're like the show itself, aren't they? Like, there's just something everywhere.
Yes, all
there's
the time.
action everywhere, there's costumes, like...
Yeah, there's
just epic.
Yeah, all sorts of crazy ideas going on, and it all somehow just works together. So yeah.
Could you just sum up the choreography of the show in 5 words?
Wow. In 5 words.
It can be a sentence or individuals.
Right. I think I might have to go for bullet point words because I don't have a sentence to cover it, to be honest. I would say it's unique. Oh gosh, complex, interesting, exciting, and I think that's 4, so 1 more. Fabulous, because that's the word of the day.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. That's why you need to come see Bat Out of Hell.
Definitely.
So come along to the Dominion Theatre, see the show, see the costumes, see it all. Thank you.
Thank you.